the Valley Current.
Just harmless 2 months ago, I said some comment. So sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Caused a crash in those stocks.
Yeah, so we were going to have this conference. We were going to have this conference anyway. The whole audience would, right.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's totally complimentary. He totally believes it's going to happen. They're kind of talking, when, and it was all positive, just like the chip guys. You got to create a tool industry. You got to do all these industries have to be created now, just like semis. You apply
right.
Besides the chip, you got how do you test the chip? How do you package it? How do you chemistry and
yeah.
So it's kind of a rerun, but it's all thumbs up. So got to have some money in that. And he's openly going, he said, I love this. I'm excited. I want to foster everything I can do to help you guys find a path to get quantum computing. And it doesn't eliminate conventional computing at all. It's complementary.
Yeah, complementary.
Well, watching that, at least give you a good bar talk about what.
Did you ever read about? But IBM took a hit. I think IBM took a hit on the view that the mainframe is probably over. Maybe the mainframe has been over for a while, but really IBM took a hit today. And I think part of it was a view that the future doesn't, maybe IBM should have been up there as well with their super quantum computer, but they are keeping things under wraps, it seems to me.
Well, they're still I have a buddy that worked for me at IBM. He runs the mainframe software division, and there's still 7,000 mainframes in the U.S. out there.
What do you think Nvidia will ultimately do? My prediction is they'll end up buying a bunch of these quantum companies or the teams and the patents.
At some point,
they got to do something to be in this space, right?
Yeah. But they don't see them replacing, and everybody agreed, no, these are not going to replace conventional. They're both going up a curve.
Right.
Right. No, they don't. It's complementary, completely different applications, and he was urging them to find some low-hanging fruit, like he did when he, back in the 90s, decided to concentrate on gaming.
Right.
That's what made his company fly. Says, okay, you guys as a group, now you got to figure out something like that.
I sold his card. I sold his graphic cards in our storage in 2000.
Is that right? Yeah.
13 grand. That's what they did. They had the graphic cards.
Oh,
Jack, he has a pretty unique management style. 51 direct reports. You read that?
Oh, is that right? That's kind of like Apple.
Got no management between him and the.
No BPs or senior.
But maybe that works. Maybe that's a better structure.
Oh, well, every layer you put in, it's like telling a joke. You tell a joke, and 3 guys later, it's not funny at all anymore, right?
Right.
It was like that. Charles Wong was like that at Computer Associates. Flat.
Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
But they've really become the darling of Silicon Valley in many ways, and they've kind of completely overridden Intel.
Oh, totally.
Intel is still a name, and they've got a new CEO, but fundamentally, Intel is in the back seat at this point.
They've been out of it. Intel's been in last place for 25 years. It's just been.
That's a weird statement because Intel was the darling for a long time.
But
TSMC invented the industry, so.
Bigger. Jack, Balletto, TSMC is bigger than Nvidia, right?
Well, they supply 66% of all semis in the world, wafer fab.
Yeah.
And 100% of all the highest level ICs.
Whoa. Yeah.
So Nvidia is almost a $3 trillion company today. The stock is up.
Market cap, yeah.
In market cap. We can talk about, what they actually do. But I'm just looking at TSMC fast and seeing where it is. And I'm sure TSMC would be.
Their stock's done well. I was going to buy it 70 or 30. It's up. Yeah. I think.
TSMC's got a market cap of $920 billion. So it's like 1/3 the overall valuation.
Market cap it is, but not production wise. They're saying, if you read articles, they'll say it's the biggest chip company.
Yeah, but they're making, I mean, they're a service provider, right? They're a service provider. They're not selling product as much as providing services, right? I mean, it's a different business.
The products tested chips.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they just pledged 100 more billion besides the fab plant in Arizona. It's already, I think it's in production now. He just pledged another 100 billion to Trump over here.
Yeah. Another conclusion from the panel was, at the end of the day, when it's really going to be, quantum computing is really going to be similar to where Nvidia is now, is when they can finally get these things which are gigantic onto a chip. So the point was, and I think even Jensen said this, stay close to the chip guys because, their progress, they go along together, just like it did with semis.
Right.
Nothing, Apple, Nvidia, nothing would have happened if they hadn't figured out how to ride the chip progress. The guy that figured that out the best won the game at the end of the day. And he's kind of saying the same thing with quantum.
Yeah, it's kind of a replay. It's kind of a generational replay. Yeah. And I don't think the world has fully caught on to it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I do think IBM must be sitting down and saying to themselves, this was probably a market that we could have owned.
Yeah.
The whole quantum market. IBM was there first, frankly. Yeah. They did the research early.
But they gave up on all the hardware a long time ago. They don't make hardware anymore.
Yeah, they're a service company now. Yeah, and they're sort of proud of it. They're kind of proud of that transition.
Well, and they sold their wafer fab to Quantum. What's it called? Quanta.
I think it's Quanta, right?
The U.S. foundry, which is back east and is part of the old IBM semiconductor factory.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's
number
two compared to TSMC.
Jack, tell me this, and maybe I should ask Russo. If someone's citing your patents, is that kind of like Cliff Notes in a book?
It's like saying that these guys really did a contribution that's real, and we're building on it, or we're otherwise learning from it. So it represents like page link on Google when you do a citation, and then you get up, a lot of stuff that's on the internet you can never find because it's never cited, right?
Yeah.
Like computer law, this is a good statement, computerlaw.com, because I established it like 35 years ago, right at the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's got so many deep links to other sites that are genuine, that are not fly-by-night, that it rises to the top when someone does a search. For example, computer law search. A lot of players, they can't get that. So it really happens over time. And ultimately, it kind of represents the ecosystem starting to sort of disclose itself, right? Because it is, as you said, it's an ecosystem evolution. The whole ecosystem has to evolve together. The tools, the testing, all this stuff has to work together.
Yeah.
And then maybe eventually it does get to the point where the iPhone can be delivered with effectively a quantum computer inside of it. It's hard to imagine, but it was hard to imagine years ago that we would have smartphones that would do video conferencing with multiple people on the line. That was unheard of. I mean, I remember when I went to the 1964 World's Fair, I was just a kid with my dad.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, there's going to be a phone with a video, a little black and white screen.
Was that at Lake Apacon? I remember that. My family.
No, it was in Flushing Meadows where the Shea Stadium is now.
Yeah, yes.
It was in New York, out in Long Island, Flushing Meadows, out in Queens. I mean, I don't know if you remember the 64 World's Fair, 1964. We're talking 60 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an amazing World's Fair.
Well, let's get back to Ferraro. Let's get back to Ferraro's question.
Yeah.
Because, John, the reason I even know about that, Pat, is my neighbor across the street makes a living in IP lawsuits.
Yeah.
So when I told him what we were doing, as a favor, he took the list of Chris's patents, blew out this chart, which I'll send to you. I mean,
send it.
Yeah, so it lists all the people that cited your stuff. So, the patent that I sent you on Noxia is right there, Noxia. Then there's another one cited by Visa.
Yeah.
Right, and like that. And there's one by the Communist Party. It's a Chinese thing. It's a Chinese thing. What your buddy Mike says, everybody knows that's the front.
The Chinese, Chinese Communist Party. Yep.
So then you can go from that type of data. But by the way, he won't do it anymore because I was overusing my neighborhood friendship.
Yeah. You hit the limit. You hit the limit.
It's the opposite. I compete with guys like this. He says I could be putting myself in a bind here if there's a lawsuit down the road.
Right.
But I'm sure Jack Russo would be able to find us who were all the other people who signed his patents. Yeah. And then those people might be candidates to buy the company.
Yeah,
of course.
Right.
Of course. Or do a deal.
Okay, Jack. Glenn was ready to call them. That was Glenn's idea, like 6-8 weeks ago. He's like, John, we need to call on the companies. They're citing the patents. But then Chris, but I said, hold on. I think Chris is going to want this to be a little bit more baked.
Yeah.
So we're ready to.
Yeah, I got to tell you, we work on a different. I work on a different wavelength than Chris, and I'm sure you do.
Yeah, we got to get shit going here.
We get stuff going. I don't have to wait until we got a full fucking business plan into.
Yeah.
For guys,
enough's enough.
There you go. If you buy it, now here you got to buy desks, and you got to buy computers, and you got to get. Just a simple question: get the fucking IP over to the smart guys, and they'll figure out what to do with. That's my style.
Exactly. Anyway. Right. Well, I owe you guys a real lunch. The judge canceled the hearing. I will make sure to get on your calendars for next month, and we'll have a lunch together, and maybe we can actually between now and then do these calls, including with Chris. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Jack Russo,
try to get some money over to Chris Daly, will you?
Yeah, we gotta get some money over.
He's desperate. I think is a good.
Well, I want to do something with other people that will make it more meaningful, but let me work on it. But try to put something together in terms of what you think are the low-hanging fruit, John, that I could use to say, look, there really are some sales that are going to happen here.
Yeah, I'll put me and
put
Glenn
something together.
Our 2 or 3 prong. We have a 3-prong sales approach.
Yeah, that would be useful to know what you think the funnel really looks like at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See you guys.
Let me know who the Fortinet guy is.
I will. I'll let you know, Jeff.
I'm not connected to Goldman.
And he's still at Fort. I made sure to ask Glenn. He's still there, right?
That's good. That's really good.
Tune in next time on The Valley Current.